as an IGL on the field, but his ability to galvanize troops in tough situations, to kind of dictate the flow of the game and put people in the best position to win. He is one of the best IGLs in Rocket League, one of the best team leaders for a guy who came out of retirement, essentially coaching on the sideline. But you talk about teams that treat the RLCS X like a marathon. I mean, what better example stacks than looking at a team like XSET, who has made incremental improvements week in, week out, taking the grid about as seriously as a world championship, and they have found themselves in the top discussion of some of the best teams in North America.
One player that was instrumental to XSET's surge in the winter, T-Carell, you just saw him let loose with a shot, now playing with the Susquehanna Soniqs, coming off of last night, being part of the Level Next Rocket League showcase, playing with Winthrop. So you're seeing even more of a collegiate and pro mix. Of course, E United, very fond of the collegiate scene, kind of building their team from it. Here goes Firstkiller. Beaten by T-Carell, but going Firstkiller. Never really out of a play, is he? He just knows one speed, it's go, and it lets the rest of the team get right on the attack.
The keys to victory for XSET in this series has to be limiting Firstkiller. I mean, we could talk about that all day, and that really is the number one factor. He is top 7 in every category outside of essentially saves per game, which means that his shots are going to be there, his accuracy is going to be there, his assists to find Taroko and turn Turo upfield will be there. If you can take him off the field and you can get T-Carell comfortable as a striker, you can get Shock comfortable as that third man, Soniqs have more than enough in the tank to be able to pull off this series. But for Rogue, again, another big day to the start of the weekend. They can't come out slow. They have to find a way to jump out in the groups.
Turo bumped away from the play, forced back out to midfield where he can meet Shock. Now Firstkiller coming on. It's an incredible job so far by the Soniqs, keeping this high-power Rogue offense off the scoreboard. We'll see if the Soniqs can break out and get some offense of their own. So far, it has felt one-sided, but the shot's only 2-1. Turo out shooting T-Carell, the only players who have anything network. Firstkiller officially has a shot now, but an easy save, and now a second one goes through far side. Firstkiller scores for Rogue.
Taroko and Turo are hanging back and letting Firstkiller run point, and when he gets this much space in the air uncontested, no one up for a challenge from Soniqs, and that's going to happen all day. He will stretch the defense thin on the line, and he'll find a way to put the ball under the net, close right corner, and continue to put pressure on the backline defense. It's what Firstkiller does so well, but the hesitation and the patience from Turo and Taroko really lets that play breathe.
Lobbed across, and Roldiz will put one on target. Easy collection for Taroko. And look at all the time and space he's given. Able to set this play up. Firstkiller, double tap, blocked away by Raul. Making his third save of the game, a well-earned savior medal, trying to keep Rogue at bay. Now trying to tie the game, and he almost did.
Looking for more power on that shot. Firstkiller was in a 1v1. He's usually going to win that, arguably the best ones player in North America to this point. You're not going to be able to beat him out of the goal line. Now, you look at Taroko moving down the field, but they give away possession about as quickly as they moved up. Firstkiller with a challenge. Turo with the shot, and that one is good for 2 goals on Rogue.
All right, it is tough to keep Rogue at bay, and if you can't generate some offense to kind of keep them honest, you will get buried under a barrage of pressure. That's what's happening right now to the Susquehanna Soniqs. Rogue getting shot after shot, and now they're really kicking things into high gear, looking for one off the kickoff. Shock's got to climb up, and the former MVP does clear the zone for a moment. It's coming right back in.
God.
There's a demolition on T-Carell, and Turo makes it 3-0.
We're watching Picasso play Pictionary. I mean, what is this read from Firstkiller? The tap to the sidewall, and Turo, the last man back, slots in the lane. It does not get easier than that. The more room you give him to work, the harder it's going to be to slow down this Rogue offense. Game 1 has been all of the boys in blue.
It is so weird to hear Spaceman excited to watch Rogue and see them actually winning while he's casting. Something is different about this major.
The earth is healing.
Or something's freezing over. Here goes Firstkiller. Got bumped off the play, just waiting for that midfield boost to spawn. It finally does. He does a little wiggle, and he'll wait for Roldiz to bring the ball right to him. Turo up as well, and you just see the difference in pace here. And it looks like there might be a pause here, and there will be, as Rogue up 3-0 as a player disconnects. So it looks like we might actually be good. So it'll be a very short-lived technical pause here for Rogue, but it looks like we'll probably restart off a kickoff with about a minute 4, minute 5 to go, something like that. We let our admins handle that, and Furtive has done a fantastic job all season long. Also part of the production squad for the Grid Overtime.
Furtive,
guy knows what he's doing.
We love you. Listen, speaking of people who know what they're doing, right now, Soniqs do not, because they have allowed Firstkiller to take advantage of all the room on the field, especially in counterattacks. And the one thing that Soniqs did quite well in the start of this game before things quickly fell out of hand was when they were taking the ball away and meeting Taroko and Taro coming up for the challenges on the point of contact, they didn't waste a lot of time downfield, getting the ball out of their half and moving on a counterattack down the field. We saw Firstkiller having to fly back in transition and play a 1v1 in front of the net. That is how you disrupt Rogue. You take them on the off timing and you find ways to clear the ball away from them, but the more you give Firstkiller room to work with, the more he's going to punish you. And it's unfair to request for a team to commit all of their resources to one player. Unfortunately, that is the situation you have to be able to adapt to. So Stacks, I mean, Soniqs are not out of this series, man. It's the first game. It's been a lot of goals. Rogue are getting hot early, but there are fundamental things we need to see Soniqs change going forward if they want to at least stay involved on the field, because 3 goals in 30 seconds is very tough to come back from.
Attention to detail, very important. A few seconds have been added to the clock, so we'll get a kickoff at 1:07. And you may think, okay, well, what does it matter? It's 3-0. This game is pretty much in the bag. Hey, goal differential could be incredibly important. We've seen it time and time again throughout the regional process that goal differential has been a deciding factor in teams getting through into either upper bracket or lower bracket during the spring split, and it could be a factor here in this major. So good on our admins for getting everything set exactly the way it should be. The Soniqs almost benefit from it, getting a shot off the kickoff, but they remain scoreless as Rogue continues to run roughshod through game 1. And now T. Carell looking to break this scoreless drought, but nothing doing at all. Firstkiller comes in to again spike the ball back into the zone. Taroko for Turinturo. A little bouncer trying to throw off T. Carell's timing. And it's just, I mean, this is almost clinical what we're seeing out of Rogue here, not letting Susquehanna Soniqs get any semblance of momentum at all in game 1.
The Soniqs have a huge role to play here this weekend as well, and Shock has an even bigger challenge in the air to at least put one on the board. We talk about goal differentials all the time, and well, you didn't secure your spot for the World Championship, but you could play spoiler to so many teams. And with shots like that and commitment to the offense down the field, even with just 30 seconds left in the game, it's plays that will help propel you not only through games of hard-fought midfield battles, but could potentially ruin someone's day like Rogue. And that is a great response from Soniqs, even on the pause, something we need to see them continue to do as this series kicks off.
This series is not over. This game is not over, as they almost got one with a little bit of time left. Still 5 seconds left. Another look at the net, and it goes in. T. Carell brings them back within 1 with only 4 to go.
Rogue fans, pulse check. We know you guys tend to stress, and this is another situation where you should be. Turo had no room to work. He needed to have a perfect pinch from the top of the crossbar. Not a lot of boost in the net. Couldn't really manage. And now we got 4 seconds to go. Entirely doable for Soniqs. A great kickoff that might help them as Shock takes it from the ceiling. Clear downfield. Firstkiller will kill it. And no one was there for the extension, a sentiment that is shared throughout the majority of Game 1 as Soniqs were failing to find one another. But we'll see probably a quick reset as Taroko needs a minute. However, Rogue take game 1 in very interesting fashion near the end of the stretch, I should say. 3-2 win, but again, Firstkiller with a goal, 708 score. He leads North America in score per game. 3 shots, 3 saves, 2 assists. I mean, he quite literally did everything.
Yeah, Firstkiller also leading in goals per game too. Very close to 1 per game through the spring split. I mean, he has just been a phenomenal talent, and it's amazing, you know, all the hype around a player like Scrubkiller when he first came in on the European side, and then Firstkiller in North America. And both players, I feel like, have absolutely lived up to that hype. You know, Scrubkiller, of course, happened to win a world championship. He went from handing out the medals to about a year or 2 later receiving those medals on the stage in New Jersey. Now Firstkiller on the North American side. There's no world championship yet, but you have to imagine when all is said and done, Firstkiller is probably going to hold that trophy at least a couple of times.
I would be entirely shocked if we didn't see in a couple of years Firstkiller hoisting up the trophy at a world championship. I absolutely agree with you. And it's not just a factor of, you know, oh, he's so good, so therefore he should win. It's he understands Rocket League at that fundamental level, and he is that unstoppable. A lot of times when rookies or when players start having a breakout season, defenses read it pretty quickly. They find ways to be able to subdue those X factors. And what Firstkiller's done quite well is recognizing that he can't always be the electric aerial man who brings the ball upfield and is uncontested and finds ways to stun defenses like NRG the way he did in the start or the end of winter, I should say. So what he does is he gets his teammates involved. He gets Taroko involved. He feeds the ball to Turo. He makes everyone around him a better player and a more concise player on the field. And the decision making has gotten much better for Firstkiller, especially on the counterattacks down the field. Something that, you know, as lackluster as their grid performances have been, they have found ways to make improvements, which is big. But we go into weekends like this where, you know, the kryptonite for Rogue has been Fridays and Saturday mornings. They have never woken up in time to be able to get the right foot on the field. So far, this is a very good showing in game one. I'm more interested to see what Soniqs do, Stacks. What are you seeing from them?
Seeing from them the story of their entire season. Too little, too late. They came on strong in the spring season, and, you know, you just wonder if they had kept a consistent roster all throughout, what might have been. You also ask if they had played anywhere near the level that they played at in the final minute of that game for the first four, what might have been, because they looked like a completely different team. Granted, after the little blip with Taroko and his internet, after they got going in that final minute, they looked like a team that absolutely can play with Rogue and keep up with them and get plenty of good quality shots on. But it came too late. It has to come in the first minute rather than the last.
Yeah, the last 30 seconds of Rocket League can kind of be empty calorie moments where teams are kind of letting up on the gas. They don't play a structured defense. Their offense is essentially clear the ball, kill the clock. We know how that works and the duality that usually follows with it. So Soniqs need to find a way to kind of reestablish the line of scrimmage at midfield and also just slow the momentum down. Because, again, Firstkiller has been showing you his cards. He's throwing a fastball right down the middle each time. You haven't caught the heater yet. He's continuing to put pressure on the net and spread your defense thin. So if you find ways to bump him off the play, if you find ways to get demos on the field, if you find ways to take Taroko out of that follow-up position where he comes up quickly on the off timing and gets a shot towards the net, you're going to have a very easy time reading the Rogue offense. You have to slow the pace down if you're Soniqs.
We are waiting on Taroko to get back in. It seems like he is on his way back in. He had to restart his connection back at home. So as soon as Taroko's in and we get the clearance from our admin, we'll be good to go. Maybe waiting on T-Corel as well. So again, we're moving at the pace of the players here. Believe us, we don't want to be on your screen any more than you want us to be. We know you want to get right into the game here. We'll reset things for you. Rogue up 1-0 in the series, a best of 5 as they all are here on Saturday. 3-2 the scoreline in game one after they got out to a very quick 3-0 lead. You know, they had to fight to get that opening goal, but once they did, the floodgates seemed to open. And then in the final minute, Soniqs got a couple back. They scored with 4 seconds left, gave themselves at least an outside shot, but never really generated that last chance to get the game tied up. But as soon as we are ready to go for game 2 on Forbidden Temple, we will get back out there. Just waiting on the players to give the green light and say they are ready to go.
Stacks, it's been a very long season. We have been in this seat since like August. We have been throughout the majority of the RLCSX. We've seen all the action. We have been watching countless matchups, roster changes, team formation, stuff like that. And as we get loaded into game 2, I just got to ask you, we're getting down to the wire, the final moments of this season. This is a huge major for not only a lot of teams, but also for established rosters to see how they're going to fare going into World Championships. What are you expecting most from this weekend? Do you have a sleeper pick? It's been a whole season of Rocket League. How are you feeling?
You know, I'm not sure it's a sleeper pick to kind of give Rogue the nod, but it wouldn't surprise me to see them make a lengthy run through this major and then into the championships next month. I think all eyes are going to be on NRG and Envy, of course. Or excuse me, the general NRG now and Envy. But, you know, Rogue has established themselves as, if there's going to be a third team that's got a shot to take the NA championship, they're the ones.
I would tend to agree with you, but knowing my structure over there at Rogue HQ, it's nothing but pain and disappointment. So that old spaceman has died. We left him in the dust. Roll Diz trying to beat the defense in the back. Great dunk, opening up the game for Soniqs. And this is all just individual recognition. T. Corell with the restabilization down to Roll Diz, and Raul gets the job done.
Yeah, Rogue is a team that I think greatly benefits from a coach, and I don't know that many teams do benefit that much from their coach, but I think with the experience that Corrupted G has as a player, that translates so well into being a coach, and he always has the right message for this Rogue squad. Taroko almost tying up the game. Now Firstkiller looking for a strike of his own. That's going to be a little bit high, but there's Taroko again on the follow-up, and that's just that blitz out of Rogue. Relentless pressure that finally relieves for just a moment, and then another one lobbed back in, forcing Shock to make an acrobatic save, falling back to his own back line. Now chasing Taroko down into the corner. Firstkiller respawns, and Turinturo takes over. That could have been disastrous for Rogue, with Firstkiller spawning right in the middle of the play.
Yep. But
it was not a problem at all. Communication comes through, and Rogue fends off Soniqs for now.
That was the worst possible spawn point for First, because it essentially just bunched up Taroko, and Turo had to quickly cut his route, move in on the ball, and try to kick it to the corner. Luckily, he was able to find it. Taroko, another shot towards the net, and now Rocky moving up into that point position. Turo on the opposite side of the field, looking for an extension, but the defense on the backboard. Shock will clear it. Taroko to the back wall. Roll Diz bringing it back down to the earth before Turo cuts it off. And it's basically just been trading hands at this point. Both teams vying for possession. Once more over the defender. Firstkiller was ready and waiting for the pass. Not enough altitude on the ball. And again, we kill to the corner. Both teams trying to find their first touch.
T. Corell to start the attack for the Soniqs. It's a very short-lived attack. Firstkiller intercepts. Coming up on the halfway mark. Roll Diz just gets by Turinturo. But T. Corell taking his time, not diving into a foolish challenge, making sure that he stays with any oncoming Rogue attacker. That's up to the backboard. Firstkiller's there, and Shock comes in from out of nowhere to keep Rogue off the scoreboard and keep the Soniqs in front.
Such a huge read by Shock. It doesn't give Firstkiller much time to be able to find the angle towards the net. So if you jump the timing, you're just playing car on ball defense. You have to be able to recover, though. Everyone back on defense, but Taroko once more on the elbow with the demo. Turo sets it up. Not a great clear, and Firstkiller with the challenge leads way to another chance. This is what Rogue does so well. They find ways just to continue to put shot after shot on the net just when you think you've survived long enough.
It is not always the end of the world when you have a double commit on the defensive end, but when you go so far out of the play, like what happened just a moment ago, it is indeed fatal. That's why Rogue has tied things up. Communication broke down for just a split second. Here goes Shock. With T. Corell downfield, he took out Turinturo, but then got spun out and could not stay with the play. Now Taroko and Firstkiller. Firstkiller, I think, bumped Taroko out of the way and said, hey, this is my ball. Problem is, it's still in a tie game, and it's just about fizzled the Rogue attack. Oh, what a dunk, though, by Taroko. Never mind. Firstkiller bounced it wide.
And you get away with mistakes like that when you're so quick on the shot and so quick on the recovery. Biggest question, again, is do you let those small mistakes on offense, on defense, continue to chip away at the overall persona of the Rogue team? And if that happens, well, Soniqs are in a more than a favorable spot. You got a minute left in this game, though. It was Soniqs who opened it up with the goal, and Rogue have been able to respond and kept pressure on this side. A nice fake, but T. Corell on the ground. Turo with a challenge. Back up to no one. Neutral ball hanging for Taroko. And gives it right back to Soniqs. Now Soniqs need to hold possession on the counterattack. Shock looking for the double tap off the backboard. And Roll Diz thinking twice about the engagement on the side wall.
Out of the corner for Turinturo, beaten out by T. Corell, who, again, he's had a busy weekend. Wearing the hat of the Winthrop Eagles last night. Now representing the Susquehanna Soniqs. Got by Turinturo, but Taroko is right there. Now Shock with Firstkiller right on the back wall. Roll Diz skying one up, and that forces Taroko all the way up. Both teams trying to pepper that backboard and force the other side to make a mistake or, kind of get lazy and leave a free ball off the back line. It is not happening. Both teams extra vigilant on the defensive end, and it looks like we're headed to OT unless Rogue has something to say about it. Turoko's going to go up to intercept T-Corel, but Shock will have a look, and with no time on the clock, the former MVP delivers Soniqs a dub.
This was T-Corel and T-Corel only. He's behind the defense, so he moves up into the lane, gets ahead of everyone else, puts his nose right on the top of the ball, and puts it in a perfect position for the goal. T-Corel won Soniqs that game in the end, and just when you think we're going to golden goal territory, the execution in the back line from Soniqs is perfect. They catch Rogue right when they weren't expecting to be challenged. What a goal from Soniqs. What a play from T-Corel. Easily the MVP of the end of that game. Oh, we got a tie series, Stacks.
It's no surprise that this game came right down to literally the last second and beyond. The Susquehanna Soniqs have played with Rogue throughout this series. They battled back into game one. They've shown that they can absolutely hang with a team that is destined for the RLCS Championship. You still wonder what might have been. This is a team that I think could have given teams a lot of fits next month. They're going to make the most of it here with still a pretty sizable prize pool on the line. And of course, the bragging rights, the right to be called North American Major Champion. Still a long way to go. Still very early on Saturday in a two-day event. This goes out of the corner. Firstkiller's right there. Turinturo waiting for a pass. It got there, but Roldiz with a great read as the Soniqs perhaps in business, but it can happen this quickly. An intercept in midfield turns into a scoring chance for Rogue.
Playing spoiler is sometimes the most fun part of esports, even when you think there's not much to play for. Soniqs have a huge weekend in front of them, and what a way to kick it off if they're able to take down Rogue. Again, loser, or I should say team with the worst record in their group is knocked out. And we'll see what happens here. There's another chip shot to Firstkiller, dumped out to the corner. This one careens around, and the missed hit almost leads to a Rogue goal. Luckily, Soniqs can breathe. Now on the counterattack. 1-2 demo, perfect for Shock.
Shock picking up right where he left off. He has imposed his will in this series. A little teamwork. T-Corel right at the center of everything the Susquehanna Soniqs are doing. He won't pick up his fourth assist of the series there, but he certainly gets a head nod from Shock, clearing the runway. And the Soniqs are up again on Rogue.
Just got to catch him with the momentum. Reestablish the presence at midfield. Rogue's backline defense is not the best in North America. They tend to overthink and second guess whoever is back there, how quickly they can make challenges, how they can clear the ball away. If you can keep them that uncomfortable and find ways to get behind the defense with quick shots, you can have an easy time against this high-powered offense. They are able to be broken down. Another shot towards the backboard. Roldiz looking for the double tap, but Turo easily up with it. Down to Firstkiller. No one getting a possession on the ball. Kicked out to Turoko. And great challenges at midfield are keeping Soniqs out of the defensive end.
Firstkiller way downfield. T-Corel was waiting on the backboard, but he does end up getting this away from Turinturo, and it's T-Corel one-on-one with Firstkiller. That ends up back at Shock. Now the teamwork out of the Susquehanna Soniqs really coming through here and shining as they have tied up the series. They have a lead in a tie-breaking third game. Firstkiller skying one out, and Shock is right there. Plenty of boost to the tank, but he couldn't stay with it. And now Firstkiller will give way to Turinturo, though probably not willingly. I don't think Firstkiller ever willfully leaves the ball behind. That time he had to.
Yeah, Firstkiller and not touching the ball is not a sentence that goes together. Turoko and no boost, though. It will. Firstkiller, again, fighting for his life around, just baiting and diving out of dodge, able to find one. Picked up once more to T-Corel, and Shock will extend downfield. T-Corel overextending to the backboard, trying to beat Turo to the ball. A great pull-up from the corner. And with 2 minutes to go, this has been all of Soniqs maintaining pressure on counterattacks at midfield. They've been reading the offense of Rogue, and they're not letting Rogue connect with one another on the infield. They're keeping the ball out of Firstkiller's hands.
Firstkiller waiting for Shock's touch, and he'll just lob another netward. Turinturo's there. Oh, he tried to use the tires to throw the defense off, and everybody's still up to the task. Another stop and another stop, and finally they clear the zone. The Susquehanna Soniqs stand on their head collectively and hold off Rogue. Now Rold is beaten out by Firstkiller as he was way up on the backboard. You cannot afford to blink at all and hesitate for even a split second with either of these teams, especially how Rogue moves so quickly down the field. The Soniqs have not, and they stand in front for now.
They're linking arms. They're not letting anything pass. And once the ball bounces out, they're getting quickly on the rebound and keeping Rogue contested on the shot. Last thing you want to do is let Rogue have any look towards the net that's ridiculously clean. T-Corell with the pinch. Firstkiller extending down, burning a lot of boost to the corner. And here comes the demo from Taroko, but late on the challenge and the transition, it's Turo. Island from the back. A pass. A little bit too hard on the challenge, and it leads way to another shot. Rogue doing a great job of putting numbers on both sides of the net and keeping the ball in play with a pass down. Another one towards the top. Taroko is there, and he meets it with 39 seconds to go.
Taroko picked a heck of a time to score his first goal of the series. Firstkiller narrowly misses the mark, but Taroko is right there to clean up the mess. That is 4 assists in this series for Firstkiller. We normally think about First as the closer, the finisher, the guy who's going to have the majority of goals for Rogue. Put him in the backpack. Not the case so far here. He's been the table setter. And near miss for the Susquehanna Soniqs. They nearly gave this game away to Rogue, but they recover. They regain. Shock with a side flip. Firstkiller's there, and now he might have closed out game 3.
Rogue's ability to move upfield and change the way they play, continue to put pressure on the backline defense, but more importantly, dial up the pace. Firstkiller wastes no time, moving upfield, flying to the ball, winning that challenge on the back wall, and a great pinch to make it a lead for Rogue here in game 3. Tied 1-1 in the series, but Rogue knocking on the door of that lead. And Firstkiller once more, changing the way he plays and just ramping up the offense when you're not expecting it. T-Corell almost with the dunk. 3 seconds to go. Can Soniqs keep it up? It doesn't look like it. And Rogue take the series lead.
Wow. That game turned on its head. It almost turned on a dime as well. I mean, it looked like the Soniqs were going to hold them off. They fended off every attack up until one that finally got through from Taroko. And then Firstkiller scores after Shock couldn't get back. He had that side flip and just could not recover. And Rogue, it feels like they stole game 3. And hey, you win at any cost. That's all that matters. The results. They're on match point now against the Susquehanna Soniqs.
You know, this matchup reminds me a little bit of last week's European Major with Solary and White Demons, how White Demons were keeping it close all the way through, like playing 4 minutes and 30 seconds of just perfect Rocket League. But when it came down those final 30 seconds, that is where they just got beat, and Solar were able to capitalize on numerous decisions upfield behind the defense and turning the offense up quickly on a dial and finding ways to just disrupt the pace of the game. Rogue doing a similar situation here. And for Soniqs, once more, they played great Rocket League in this series, but they have to find a way to play a little bit tighter when the game gets closer and not give up quick transitions down the field.
Must win now for the Susquehanna Soniqs. An all-important game here because Soniqs are a team that certainly, when you look at this Group A, you're looking at them, you're looking at XZ, and you're going, all right, you know, who's number 5 here? This game could go a long way in determining that. Game differential, goal differential, who knows what it will come down to in the end. Very important for the Susquehanna Soniqs to win this game for a number of reasons. Get as much as they can, if nothing else, out of this series with Rogue. They've shown they can beat them. Can they do it 3 times? Here goes T-Corell up to the ceiling, and Turinturo saw it coming, immediately all over it. Soniqs will try again. Good pass out in front, but Roldiz wasn't there in time. This still comes out to Shock. Soniqs are in business here, but they haven't got a good look at the net. And finally, Rogue clears the zone.
And Firstkiller is allowing Taroko and Turinturo to play a little bit more aggressive on offense. Another pass up to Taroko. Is he on angle? No, he's not, but everyone's pushed up. Rogue committing a lot of resources and manpower to this push. Now we look at the transition down the field. Firstkiller's been playing goal line to goal line, as well as utilizing the sidewalls to bump out players of Soniqs. You don't see him much getting that first touch, but he is there for the second on the recovery, a little fake on the rebound, and Firstkiller trying to come back in on the ball, but Soniqs will clear. Seekerell down the field, full boost, right back on the back pass, but Shock kicks it to the corner, and no one is there for Soniqs.
Popped up for Taroko, free ball, and that could be trouble as Rogue, given all this space. This is where they're deadly. Turo waited back. Oh, he took a penalty kick, and the defense of the Susquehanna Soniqs holds firm. They had two there. That certainly helped, but now it's only Roldiz to stop Turo, and he just waited him out. Great job not giving Turo an easy lane to shoot through, and it keeps this game scoreless.
Yeah, Turo has struggled on close shots at the goal line all season, so you just look at the recognition from Roldiz, right? No need to challenge. Let him do what he wants. You can save it. Another great commit that just pinches the ball out, and Shock is there, but doesn't have a lot of boost. Now it comes down to clear game. You have to be able to boom this ball away. We've killed about 2 minutes in the game. Pass to Turo. There's the shot, and finally it pays off. You need someone in the net. It doesn't work, and the first goal for Rogue here in Coliseum comes at a pivotal time.
Rogue in front. Halfway mark of game 4, and that is trouble for the Susquehanna Soniqs. They have been able to battle back in a series and in a game. We saw it in game 1, but it came way too late. Rogue has just been far more efficient with their chances. Of course, the volume has been there too, like it is here. Another off the backboard, and Roldiz has the clear away. Can they keep possession though? That's the key, and against a team that moves as fast as Rogue does, it is a tall task. Turo almost got dunked on by Seekerell. He just about had the read, but close isn't good enough. Shock on target, and Roldiz couldn't get to Taroko in time. Loose opportunity here, and Turo got there again.
It really just seems to be two different offensive stacks. I mean, Soniqs have chances there. They're usually one hitting at a time, staggered pushes upfield, but it's one decent shot, one decent look, and then we fall back and try again. Rogue are relentless right now. They continue just to get inside, bump players off the play, create traffic otherwise in lanes that were accessible before, and Soniqs have had a very different approach. Firstkiller with the fake, the juke, the dip around, and almost gets it in. And Shock is able to hold on and keep this a one-goal game.
Minute 20 left in the series unless the Soniqs can answer back. And it's Taroko now out of the corner for Firstkiller, and Shock got in the way. Turo will try his luck, just trying to delay for his teammates to get in the play. And it turns into an opportunity. Turo gets bumped into a shot. This is bizarre.
That is the antithesis. That is like image 1, A1, A2, A3, all the way down to C4 and 5. Like, that is a situation of how Rogue have been beating you this series. They've gotten behind the defense. They've kept the ball alive. They're winning the first touch, the second touch, the third touch, the rebounds, the recoveries, the extensions, putting numbers on the ball, keeping the play up. That is about as textbook as how Rogue have attempted and approached this offensive style in this series, and Soniqs with the worst mistake they could have possibly made, and they're down 2 goals with 30 seconds to go.
Turo looking to put the finishing touches on, I wouldn't say a masterpiece from Rogue, but it has been a picture of sorts. Maybe abstract art would be the best way to describe it. Just paint being thrown at the canvas. But it's good enough for Rogue to start the day 1-0 as they are going to dispatch the Susquehanna Soniqs. They had to fight for it, Spaceman. But in the end, Rogue 1-0, Soniqs 0-1.
Jackson Pollock is still a great painter. He gets the job done, and guess what? He doesn't care if it's messy. Doesn't matter if it's unorganized, if it's even sometimes a little mean. Rogue, like you said, take care of their business here. And Soniqs put up a tremendous fight all the way through, but things quickly crumbled in this game. And this was about as lopsided as it was in game 1 when it was a quick 3-0 lead. But Sax, I think, again, that entire goal from Turo, right? The third, fourth, and fifth touches, even getting bumped off the ball, no one there from Soniqs. I mean, that replay itself just kind of shows you how Rogue were able to handle their business in the opposite end of the field. And for Soniqs, it never seemed like they were able to get ahead of Rogue. They were always playing to Rogue's pace and dictation, even when Soniqs had the lead. Just a matchup that Soniqs weren't ready for, but Rogue survived a very close one. That could have gone a very different way. But, you know, it's another close series. What do we expect here in the North American Major?
What do you expect? The unexpected. By the way, a quick update. We'd mentioned that Space Station had started off the day 0-1, and they were in trouble. No, they actually won their series. Go figure. They won in Game 5, a lengthy overtime over version 1. Just stop me if you've heard that before. Version 1 in Game 5 overtime. Of course. And of course, in true V1 form, they lost. So they are the ones that are at 0-1. So too is the general NRG in Group B. We mentioned all of that to set the stage for our next series. G2 and Space Station Gaming coming your way right after this.